Hello friends, Jonathan here, and today I'm here at Free Spirit Yoga in Long Beach, California, and I wanted to share with you a special way of breathing that I like to use in our yoga practice, and I like to just use in general. This special way of breathing, it's a variation of our Ujjayi Breath that we typically use in our yoga class. This means that we're breathing in and out through the nose, but we're trying to hear and feel the breath in the base of the throat instead of up at the nose. What this means is that there's less of that here and a little bit more of the feeling down here. Now, this doesn't need to be super loud. For some people it is. For some people it's a little bit more quiet and subtle. Ideally, we're trying to work ourselves towards the quiet and subtle so that we can feel it, but it's not a crushing or really a forceful feeling in the throat. It's really just enough so that you can start to hear and feel the inhale, exhale, and that you can start to regulate it. And I always like to stress that it's not about taking some long, exaggerated breath. You know, it's not like if I'm trying to stretch my breath to 30 seconds or something like that. We're focusing more on the smooth, wave-like pattern of the breath. This means that whether your breath is 4 or 30 seconds long, the ideal is to get it so that the inhale and the exhale are about the same in both their length, their sound, and also in just the way that it feels to you. You want to feel that smooth wave-like quality to the breath, as that will start to cultivate a smooth quality to the mind. Now there's, aside from that, there's a specific way that I like to direct the breath. And by directing the breath, I mean that you're using your conscious intention to sort of feel the movement of breath in specific areas of the body. Now it's well known that, in an anatomical sense, the only thing that we can actually breathe in and out of course, is the lungs themselves, which are up in the chest. But by using these intentional sort of conscious direction, we can actually use the breath to feel certain things in our body. So I'll share with you today what it is I'd like you to do with your breath in order to get this very specific result, and you'll feel it when you do it. So as we breathe in and out through the nose, we're trying to hear and feel the breath in the throat. When we inhale, we want to feel the rib cage expanding. Now, when I refer to the rib cage, I literally mean the whole rib cage. So we feel not just the chest, where we tend to be able to kind of and puff easily, but also the side ribs and the back of the ribs. And I'll point out that I personally think that for most of us, the side, back, and lower back part of the ribs are probably the most important part to try to feel inflating and expanding on the inhale, although the chest is important too, and for some people that might be more important. But in general, I find that especially the lower back ribs is where we need that expansion the most. So that's the inhale. And when we do this expansion, again, just like the feeling in the throat, it's not a forceful thing. It's slow and it's gentle. So an inhale might look something like this. Where the rib cage just slowly expands, and you can't see it from this video, but the back, it's like if you imagine your rib cage as being a circle, it's a circular expansion. So all 360 degrees. I like to say it's like a flower blooming. All the petals go out at once. So that's the inhale. For the exhale, we're going to feel a similar expansive feeling, but I'd like you to feel it down in the hips. Now, you can't see my hips in this video, but this is, of course, more of a feeling thing than a looking. In fact, someone might be doing this breath, and you might not see a lot of physical difference, but if you're doing it yourself, and if you're doing it correctly with practice, you're going to feel a big physical difference. So the inhale is expanding at the heart and the rib cage, 360 degrees, a radial expansion. The exhale is now down at the hips, and it's the same idea, where we want to feel the whole hip structure sort of expanding out. For me, it just works better. I feel the side walls of the hips, especially just moving out. Really what we're feeling is that the heads of the femurs trying to kind of expand away instead of being crushed in like they tend to be in most of us from our sitting posture that we use a lot. So the inhale would be the expansion of the ribs, and on the exhale we would feel the hips expanding. And I don't want to tell you too much about what this breath is supposed to do. What I'd rather you try is doing it yourself. And again, no force. It's not a kind of thing. It's a very subtle feeling. And we trust that if we do it subtly and we do it softly, but we do it regularly, and again, find that steady rhythm where the inhale expands the heart, the exhale expands the hips, even just by a tiny internal bit each time we breathe. If we do that throughout our whole practice, we'll feel a lot more openness and expansion through these different areas, and you're going to feel some other stuff. But again, I want to leave that up to you. So this is my variation of how we do the Ujjayi breath, and I want you to try it out for yourself, maybe standing or just sitting comfortably. Maybe try it out in a few different asanas or poses that you like. And even in the moving dynamic practice, I use this as well. So hopefully this can be of use to you. What I would love to hear from you is how this worked for you. If you tried it out and you're like, hey, it didn't feel good, or it did really feel good, or I didn't really feel it, or I had a question about this, I would love to hear that so that I can share with you, so we can learn this together, and so that maybe we can work on it a little bit and you can get to feel what it is I would like you to feel out of this. So give it a try. Hit me back with any feedback or questions or comments or concerns you have about it. And I'd love to just work with you or talk to you about this and see, what we can find through the magic of breath. So again, my name is Jonathan. It's been a pleasure to share this little breath technique with you. I hope you can use it, and I hope you can really feel some benefit from it. And again, I'm here for you if you need any support with that. So have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, and take care.